Welcome to the Birth Dance Weekend in Solvang. Can you share with us your name and what you do, where you're from?
Okay, my name is Ray Castellino, and I live in Ojai, California, just over the hill from here. And what do I do? I have been kind of the central person in a movement on that has to do with really relating to our core selves, our blueprint selves, and using that as a reference to resource ourselves into looking at our early histories, our prenatal histories, our preverbal histories, before we had words, because those kinds of memories, rest in they rest in our field, in our body, differently than post-verbal memories. So I created a forum that I call the Womb Surround, WOMB, or it used to be called a process workshop. They're small group work. They get people, like 6 people together for 4.5 days, so folks can, as a group, come into awareness of a social nervous system, an energy field of themselves together, and then look at some of their early imprinting in relationship to that, and for people to do major life-changing healing, and so that they can actually be the people they want to be, rather than be at the helm of their histories.
So your first, I'd say, credential maybe was a chiropractic?
I started out as a polarity therapist, and I started studying that work in 1969, and I studied Dr. Stone, Randolph Stone's polarity therapy work, and from there I started studying cranial work and anything that had to do with the body and energetic body work. And so I did that for about 10 years, and then 1978, late 1978, I went to chiropractic school. And then I did chiropractic for 10 years after I went to school. And the form of chiropractic that I did is very different than generally, because I'm very eclectic. I mixed a lot of different approaches together, and the core of it was still the polarity therapy. And then what happened? I one day when I was in chiropractic school, I found a book that was by Deline and Greenhill, and it was an obstetrics textbook for that was circa 1943. I was born in 1944, so I devoured that because that had all the technology of birth for my era of birth, and I started putting correlations of that together, movement patterns, cranial shapes, and so on. And in my chiropractic practice, I was working with kids and babies and families, and usually mothers, but not families as it was. And the kids would be moving in ways where they'd show me a pattern of movement, and then they would repeat it again. And then I go, whoa, that's really interesting. So I stayed with that, and I realized that the patterns generally that they were showing me often were the patterns that their body moved through when they were getting born. So I took that, and it developed into about the same time we started a nonprofit research clinic, and we started working with families with babies and children, and supporting families. That project is called BEBA, B-E-B-A, B as in boy, E-B-A, Building and Enhancing Bonding and Attachment. It's a nonprofit research clinic that still goes. We've got over 280 families in our research group from 25 years, and started as a research clinic, and we finally got 2 years ago we got a substantial grant that we were given to. So we're in the process now of doing a retrospective study to find out what happened to some of these kids and families since then. So that'll be coming in the next year and a half or so as we're doing that. And then people started asking me what I was doing, and they wanted to take workshops. So I, in the mid '90s, put a curriculum together for a training, and I've been doing that. That's been developing since. So we had the family work in BEBA, the research clinic with families, with kids, and then the work with adults, and that leads to a whole training thing that takes, it's about 2.5 years.
Excellent, thank you for that. I'm wondering if you want to reflect or share your experience of coming to the workshop here today. You were invited by Julian and Susan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just wonderful to come here and see the work that Susan and Julian are doing. They've been, friends for some decades, and to see Anne, who I haven't seen in 20 years or so, and to sit with a group of people, like yourself and folks, how you guys are sharing and being together, it warms my heart, and then so I just I got big internal grins, happy grins going, because see what they've done, what Susan's done with the work, and how they're shaping it into a way of touching other folks, and so, that it's spreading. So that makes me really happy and makes my heart rest. And I had my 75th birthday this year, and so wherever I go, the more I see the work growing and people taking it into the world, it just it's like something in me really deeply settles. I feel so to have that feeling, and to feel how ripe and receptive everybody here is. It's a wonderful experience.
Great. Do you want to share any contact information, resources that people can look at, and maybe why?
Oh, you mean like my website or something like that? Okay, so right now the website is castellinotraining.com, and in probably 4, 5, 6 months from now, the website will be Somatic Blueprint.com, and I've put together a whole thing. So what I used to do is I had a foundation training, and so that's a professional level training, and so I've been doing that, and then in the last 5 years I put together a whole system that where people can come into the foundation work, then they can come into a mentoring program, and then at the end of the mentoring program they come out like facilitating families and doing womb surrounds. And then I'm starting another program next week, actually, that I call Training the Trainers. So these are people that have been through that process, and we're just starting a foundation training, and those folks are going to take and look at the video from each of the what do you call it? Each of the modules of the foundation training, take it apart, see what they need to do to create their own curriculum and their own in their own teaching materials. So there's 3 aspects of the work: foundation level, mentoring phase 2, deepening and building more skills, and then training. So.
Terrific. And if you had a couple words to share on an exit here that kind of defines maybe the day. I'm not sure if you're putting you on the spot.
Okay, so the way I look at the work we're doing, the work we're part of is a quiet revolution. And it's revolutionary work. It's culturally changing. I just got back from Europe, and I work in German-speaking countries, Italian-speaking countries, Spain, the Latin-speaking countries, Italy and Spain, mostly Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Austria. Done a lot of work in England, and I see everywhere that this work happens, the culture of those people changes because they change the way they feel about themselves inside, and they change the way they relate. And so I would invite anybody to, that has the courage to do that, to step into the field of that, because it adds to the value of why we're here, and it also opens our consciousness that if we're already not there, we're really paying attention to the consequences of how we are being as human beings, what we're doing socially, politically, and how we're affecting the planet and the oceans and the sky and the weather and all of that. So what we're doing here is the need for the work on Mother Earth is so great that what we're doing here, I see like 50 years out, but we don't have 50 years to do what we need to do for Mother Earth. So I want to see more babies and families where the kids are growing up in the heart of what they need to do themselves so they can have air to breathe and water to drink and to have the space and time so that they can really know the core of the love that they have for each other.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Yeah.